little sister go? So the other day, I don't know, like a week or two ago, someone asked me if I have a wish list for my kids, right? Because I have an Amazon wish list and people send me stuff off there once in a while, and it's great. But do I have one for my kids? And I was like, no, I just put stuff on for my kids on mine. And I didn't have much on there for them at the time. So when that live was finished, I put a bunch more stuff on there for kids, right? And then a little bit after that, someone, it could have been the same guy, he complains that I don't have any stuff for my kids on my wish list. And I'm going like, what? That's weird. And I look at it and there's like cool stainless machete and a cool knife and some Swiss Army stuff and like some, what's it called? Like solar powered lights and a Frisbee and some colored pencils and some jumbo pencils and stuff like that. So I was like, well, that's weird. I just forgot about it. And, went on with my life. But it was kind of rolling around in the back of my head there for a while. And then when we were at some friends recently, God, this one's so stuck. We're at some friends recently, just, visiting because they have kids and we're hanging out. The mom comes out with, stuff for kids, and it's like a bunch of, like little plasticky toy junk. And, it's cool. Everyone plays with it. Great. And I was looking at it going, man, kids totally like better stuff than that, or whatever. This stuff's cool too. Can you stop doing that? And then you're going to drive me nuts. Okay. And then yesterday, I was here doing some stuff outside. And then my son comes up to me, my 5-year-old son, and he says, I want to do something. I was like, go ahead, do whatever you want. He's like, no, I want to do something useful. I was like, ooh, a whole bunch of stuff just clicked in my head about all those events I was telling you about earlier. And I realized that all the stuff that I put on the Amazon kids wish list, well, on my wish list, that was all kids stuff, was like stuff people wouldn't consider to be kids stuff usually, except for the Lego. Someone did send me the Lego, and there might have been something else in there. But anyway, a lot of it was just not considered to be kids stuff. And like when we were at our friend's place the other day, and the mom brought out all those little plastic kind of junky toys. I'm not saying anything's wrong with them, but just kind of like plastic junk. That's what people think of as kid stuff, right? And it just got me thinking more about how, hey, where are all the handles? You made me more handles, right? Well, bring them up here. What'd you do with them? Oh, they're here. I moved. Just how we raise our kids. It's like we raise our kids to be childish, as opposed to raising them to become adults. So, when kids are young, it's really easy to just give them some toy or some fun instant gratification. Like, here's a tablet. Go. Just blah. Here's some TV. Just it's really easy to do that when you're a parent and you have kids, and maybe you don't feel like you have time to spend with your kids or whatever. But I'll tell you one thing, spending time with your kids is like the most valuable thing you can do. Well, one of them. I mean, you also have to do things so you can eat and have a house and everything. But like compared to like watching TV or something, hanging out with your kids and doing stuff with them is much more rewarding. But anyway, so, a lot of people I know who've been parents over the years have just like kind of shoved these dumb toys at their kids and said, here, go away, go do this. I don't have to raise you. The government raises you with the public schools and, you know, the daycare and the TV, all that raises you. I don't have to do it. So somewhere, like, a lot of parents just lost the idea that they are responsible for their own children, for the development of their own children. And then their kids grow up, and then these same parents will say to their kid, why are you so dumb and useless? You know, when I was your age, I could do this and this and this and this and this. And the kid's just sitting there like, well, what the hell? I've been staring at a tablet for the last decade and a half. Well, what is this? But what did you expect, you know? And, you know, I think we really need to get back to the idea that we are responsible for raising our children. And we shouldn't just be giving them dumb, easy to deal with stuff. So, for example, you know, on my wish list thing there's like a big, like a Bowie knife, like a big machete kind of knife kind of thing, right? It's not for me. If someone gets that, that's for one of my kids. And I have to presume that a lot of people would think, no, you shouldn't get that for your kids. You should get your kids like a plastic lightsaber, or, you know, some kind of plastic toy junk nonsense like that, because then it's safe. But you just keep giving your kids this useless junk. They never learn anything. Instead, what I think is better, and what I try to do, is when my kids are really young, my 3-year-old has a wooden sword. That's her sword. It's a little wooden sword. It's very cute. I don't know where it is, somewhere around here. And my 5-year-old son originally had a wooden sword. Well, he actually had a wooden machete, because we were calling it machetes because I had a machete. So he had a wood machete. And then after a while of not hitting anyone, sharpened his machete. It's just a wood machete, but put a bit of a sharper edge on it. So, you know, it would be a little bit more dangerous, but, you know, still nothing serious. And then, I don't know, several months ago, he got this. Check that out. Isn't that sweet? Now that's a machete. I mean, for a little tiny person. Yeah, it was originally like a meter long machete. Just cut it off. And it's not sharp. It's actually sharpened a tiny bit, but it's like not sharp at all. So, but it's a steel thing, you know, like a real thing. And as he's going through these steps, and as my daughter and all my kids have gone through these steps, they've learned progressively how to do things safely. So you get a wood implement at first. If you reliably don't hit anyone or hit yourself with it for a significant period of time, then you can graduate up to like a steel one. And if you can use that and not hit anyone and not hit yourself and do useful things, like yesterday, my son and I, after he said he wanted to do something useful, I was like, well, you want to come help me take care of this tree? Because there's a big tree outside that had it had all this termite damage, so I cut it down so it wouldn't like fall on my boat or something. But it was a big tree, and there were like branches all over the place. So we went out there, and he used his machete, and I used my machete, and we cut up a bunch of branches. You know, made a fire to burn up a bunch of the little stuff, and you know, cut up some of the bigger pieces to use for other things. And he actually did something useful. And you know, he gets to practice with something not too dangerous. It's like at his acceptable level, but maybe pushing what's really super safe for him a little. So I have to keep an eye on him because it is a steel thing and he could hurt someone. And I have to make sure his sister knows, don't stand behind him when he's swinging. You know, you got to have a certain distance. And so all my kids learn as they're going how to handle increasingly dangerous things that have more responsibility. My 10-year-old daughter here, she has a sharpened machete.
I'm 11.
You're 11. My 11-year-old daughter, you've had a sharpened machete for years, right? And at first, it was dull, and then I sharpened it a little bit, and now it's pretty sharp. And maybe I'll sharpen it a lot at some point. But anyway, she's the one that these are for, because she is making some. She's been working on a dollhouse.
Yep.
So yeah, you might think, well, this is for some adult doing some sort of woodworking. They need to clamp some glue stuff. It's for my daughter. She's 10 years old. Anyway, yeah, I just felt like sharing all that nonsense. Oh, check these out. So this was originally, crap, was it 3-inch pipe? I think. No shirt, you can't be in video. Anyway, this was originally 3-inch pipe, PVC pipe, you know, the thin wall. And at first, I just kind of held the whole thing over a candle, melted it all, and like put it together so it'd be smaller, and stuffed it inside one of the other pipes, just so it'd be tighter, you know. And then held it over a candle and just melted the ends and folded those out so it'd have a, you know, thing. And then you just saw me do the rest. But yeah, these are great when you have, well, what she's doing right now is she's got dollhouse posts and she's putting boards on the side, you know, like siding. And it doesn't need to hold like a ton of weight or anything. You just need to hold these little boards on while they're getting glued on. So now she has 7 of these to clamp on. Anyway, that's all I've got to talk about today. What are you guys doing? So yeah, you know, like I think it's really important to take responsibility for your children, you know, and raise them well. Even if you weren't raised that well, and this is one of the problems, you know, parenting kind of got lost probably between like World War I and World War II, you know, 2 generations of parents not really being available, you know, at least one parent being gone from the home. And now we have all these people. I mean, I wasn't raised very well. I didn't. And just like people generally today didn't have very good parenting and therefore haven't learned very good parenting skills. But, you know, do your best, man. There's a lot of stuff that you just end up knowing how to do instinctually. Man, I look like a homeless person. My daughters are starting to make fun of me because all my shirts have holes in them. I've been meaning to make some more, but I just have other stuff to do. Anyway. Yeah, you know, even if you don't know what to do and you're a parent, and I could totally relate to this because I don't feel like I had the greatest example growing up. Just spend time with your kids and do what makes sense, and you know, try to teach them whatever you can. Give them as much responsibility as they can handle, and it's a good thing to do. It's harder in the short term, but it gets way easier in the long term because then you have kids who, you know, aren't going to do stupid things. All right, what do you guys say here? I buy my kids tons of plastic junk. I wish this wasn't the case. Yeah, stop it, man. You can just stop it. You can instead take that money and say, okay, I'm going to go in here and spend $20 on plastic junk for my kids, or I can save that $20 and do something like really, really useful for my kids, you know? And maybe there isn't anything that comes to mind at the time. So maybe just put it in like a kid jar or something. And then at some point in the future, it's like, you know, my kid's really interested in woodworking, for example. My kids are really interested in working with wood, partly because I have this lumber mill and this planer and I have all this wood around and they want to make stuff with it. But in that example, you could be like, okay, now I got this kid jar with like $200 in it because the last 10 times, stop. The last 10 times I went to, you know, piss money away. Instead, I put it in the jar. Now I have all this extra money. You could like go to the store and buy some woodworking tools and be like, here you go. And then it's like a real useful thing, you know? And one of the times that we really get stuck on this is like birthdays and Christmases, right? It's like, oh, I got to get my kids the junk. Like, you know, you don't have to get your kids the junk. You just totally don't. You can just completely not get them the junk. And when the other kids say, oh, didn't you get the newest plastic junk? Just tell your kids, say, no, I didn't want it. I wanted something cooler. I wanted a Swiss Army knife that I can't take to school, but I can take it camping with me, or or whatever, or maybe they want a flute or something. I don't know, like something that's not just like dumb kid stuff. You know, you can get your kids stuff that's actually useful where they can learn.
I'll make something.
What, you want to make something? Go upstairs and make something then. Oh man. Yo, Jaimie, hello Adventure Builders. Yes, what's up? What are you doing? Oh, I was just making, clips. Is that for the kids? Yes, that was for the kids. Although I'm sure at some point I will use those clips for stuff because those are super useful. You know, they're not super strong, but like a lot of times you just need something to hold something in place. Oh, those clips are great for that. Let's see. Boredom is the mother of creativity. I don't know. Thanks for all the amazing videos, Jaimie. Oh, you're very welcome. I don't know. I think there's a lot of reasons to be creative. The children need toys too. Okay. I don't even know what you mean by that. Like, do you mean dumb toys? Because what I'm talking about here is like the dumb toys that just like do nothing for them. What?
Could you come on and cut wood with me?
Yeah, let me get off this and we can go. You should put a shirt on though in case there's any bugs.
Okay.
Or you're gonna want to get scratched on the branches. But yeah, we can go finish that tree in a minute. But anyway, like Lego, amazing toy. Because there's you can learn so much. I am always for Lego. Lego is great. Or any kind of like building toys like that. But all this like plastic junk where kids get it home. And I've told this story before, how I was working in the toy industry for a while, and at some point I started getting called into all these meetings with like the heads of like huge stores, huge toy stores, and the big box stores and stuff. And I'm not going to say any names here because I don't want to get thrown in jail, but it doesn't matter. You would recognize these names of these stores. But anyway, I got called into these meetings with like the head honchos of these places. And they kept trying to convince me to not try to develop these like toys that are going to be interesting and engage kids' brains and all this positive stuff. And I would just keep saying, no, we can make anything, right? Why don't we make something that's going to be amazing? It is going to help kids learn and just get interested in the world and in science and all this stuff. And they kept just trying to discourage me from this. And finally, I got to a meeting with the heads of an enormous toy store that is now out of business. I could probably say their name, but it doesn't matter. You could figure it out who it is anyway. And the guy just got frustrated with me, and he's like, okay, look, we sell garbage, okay? We don't want to sell things that the kids are going to get home and enjoy and play with and learn from and be interested, because then they're at home. We need to sell things that the kids get home and it either breaks right away or it's just disappointing and boring, because then the kids are immediately whining to their parents to come back and buy something else. And I'm sitting in this meeting with this guy, and the guy I was in there with, we were both just had this look on our face like we both knew this is what was going on, but to have one of these guys actually just say it, I kind of wish I had recorded that meeting. Anyway, it was just sickening, and that's what's being pushed on us. All this junk, right? So your kids, you can give your kids like some piece of plastic crap as a toy, or you can give them a saw and a hammer and some nails. Like they're gonna play with either one, but one is actually gonna teach them some coordination, some skills, let them learn how, like learn some responsibility, because like a hammer and nails, that's a dangerous thing. The thing is, if you give them something like that, you have to pay attention, you have to help them, you have to learn. But that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing, because then you get to bond with your kids. You get to spend time with your kids. But if you're just so obsessed with, I got to watch my TV show, go away, or like I'm interested in everything but my kids, then you're missing out on all kinds of excellent opportunities in life. Like you should be prioritizing your kids so that, you can get them stuff like tools or musical instruments or just something that's useful that they're going to be interested in and they can do stuff with and learn and get coordination and use their brain and their body and, just grow and learn and become better people so they can become good adults. You should do that and then use that as a chance to bond with your kids. It's awesome. Like all the people who are not doing that, you are so missing out. Simo doesn't have kids. Yeah, don't worry about it. Me neither. Maybe if lucky, buy some new sheeps. We should raise men and women instead of just having children. That's right. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, we should be raising men and women, not just having children. Like you're not supposed to have children just to have them be children forever. And now we've got this world full of adult children. And like anyone who doesn't realize the problem it's probably because they are a child. But like anyone who's an actual adult, like using their brain, looking out at the world, seeing all these adult children are just going like, oh my God, what a disaster, right? Anyway, Jaimie gets more prezzies than his children. I don't know. I don't keep track. Like all my stuff is like for my kids anyway. Like they use all my tools. They're in like anytime I go to my tools, I'm always like, where's my thing? And like my kids, both of my saws, my hacksaws are upstairs. They're using them right now. Like my pliers are always missing. Any 3D printer filament I get, they use half of it. And then anyway. And like if someone sends me a Frisbee, I'm going to play with it with my kids. So who's it for? I don't know. It's for everyone.
Nobody's.
Children weapons tier list in the making. Yeah, it's like basically like a video game. I mean, that's the crazy thing. Like we'll play video games like just endlessly, leveling up, like going from the bottom, learning, growing. But we don't do that in real life anymore. But we should be doing that in real life. I mean, I try to do that in real life, and I try to get my kids to do that in real life. And yeah, like wood sword, foam sword, actually. Foam sword, wood sword, dull steel sword, sharp steel sword, like full-fledged, full-size machete, Yeah, it's like a way of building responsibility and learning things. Looks for guttering. I don't know what does that mean? Oh, it looks for guttering. I don't know what that means. It's awesome, man. How's the Wendy house going? I think there's a lot of typos going on here. What's going on? Oh, I miss Meccano. I never had Meccano, but that stuff looked pretty sweet. My favorite toy growing up was popsicle sticks and coat hangers. Well, first it was Lego, but at some point, Lego could not handle what I was trying to build anymore. Because I started building all these, like little walking robots and stuff. And I could do a lot with Lego. But when I started getting to the point where I was like, I need these things to be able to steer and stuff. So there needs to be more intricate stuff that I can do with the Lego. I could 3D, now that I have 3D printer, I could 3D print like custom Lego pieces to do all the stuff. But anyway, back in the day, popsicle sticks and coat hangers. That was what I made so much stuff with popsicle sticks and coat hangers, like a lot of like walking robot kind of stuff. And then gears. Anytime I could find gears, oh my God, I was always on the lookout for gears. And there was this what's it like, a secondhand store? What do you call those places again? I forgot. Like, a store that just has like leftover surplus. It was a surplus store. That was like downtown in the city where I lived. I don't know, it was probably like 8 miles from my house or something. I would run all the way there like once a week and just go through their stuff. And just if they had gears that came in, I would like, how much is the box? I'll take them all. Gears were awesome. And if I had a 3D printer back there, I would just print gears like crazy. I have a Nissan Titan 2012 with 120,000 miles on it. I can't get started. LOL. I'm not getting any fuel to the fuel rail. Oh, that's frustrating. So what I'm trying to do is take the wiring harness apart in sections and clean it, then put it all back together again, hoping that whatever is not making contact will finally make contact and work. A funny thing, so many times things that didn't work have worked after I just take them apart, kind of look at everything, clean it. I'm like, I don't know what's wrong. And then just put it back together and it works. A lot of times doing that, you just like connect something that wasn't connected when you took it apart, you know. So hopefully that goes well. Good luck, man. I'm working on the parenting skills thing myself. When you want to do it right, it's very intimidating. Yeah, it's intimidating until you start doing it, you know? Once you start doing it and really get into it, then it's just awesome. It's like, well, kids are hilarious. I'm not even gonna get in there. But yeah, like you have a lot of the stuff you're supposed to do just built into your instincts, you know? So like trust your instincts with your kids a lot.
Jaimie, can you cut the water with me?
Yes, we're gonna go. Oh, fuel pump working. Oh no, wait. I think my daughter would rather make her own toys. Yeah, my kids would rather. Would you rather make your own toys?
I don't know.
Well, what about your dinosaur house? The dome we made up there with all the pentagons and hexagons.
Oh.
That was pretty awesome to make, right? Yeah. Let's see. No, that's a problem. I bought 2 new fuel pumps. I bought new masks. Oh God, I do not miss car problems. I didn't have a ton of car. Well, my first car had tons of problems, but my second car was a truck. It was a pickup truck, one of those old Toyotas. You know, the ones like the Taliban used and stuff. The thing was like indestructible. That was awesome. Let's see. Isolation not good for children. Okay, why are you saying that? If you're gonna just like this happens a lot. People will just blurt out some statement, and I'm pretty sure you have something you're trying to say there, but you've not provided enough information. You know, if you like, just spit it out. If you got something to say, just spit it out. Otherwise, the sky is blue. Okay, so what? Eric says, true, I'm autistic and I have to watch that in my child. Yeah, I mean, people are different, man. Like if you're, I don't know. The whole autism thing, I think is kind of weird in our society today. I think one, it gets over what's it called? Overdiagnosed. And then, you know, there's this whole thing about being on the spectrum. You're like 1% on the spectrum because you're kind of a little illogical. It's like, okay, who cares? You know what? I mean, usually this stuff is not a problem. I think the more important question is, am I a good person? Is this a good person? That's a more important question to ask than, is this person autistic? Unless it becomes like an actual issue, which is very rarely the case. Like I've known a lot of, like I'm a very logical person, and I don't know, I might have some kind of autism, but I've always gotten along with autistic people very well because, you know, I can think like that, right? And a lot of times, like autistic kids, I've found them to just be totally pleasant to be around. Like very rational, sensible, until people start trying to stuff them into these boxes that they don't fit into, you know? And I know there are more extreme cases where, you know, if they don't have yellow underwear, they go crazy or whatever. I mean, you have to deal with that. Yeah, but that's, you know, that's one of those rare cases. A lot of times being autistic is more like a superpower if you use it right. All right. Oh, God. This is more about the broken car. I hope you get it fixed, man. I was 17 and still liked toys, boom, boom vehicles. I like to play with these red cheese wax. Oh, I know what you're talking about. The red cheese wax, the baby bells. Yeah, I used to play with those too. Then my parents got me into nature documentaries. Your thought on junk is not the same as children's view on toys. Okay, Jasper, you gotta give me more information here. You're just spitting out like half a thought. Like just spit it out, man. If you got something to say, if you're trying to start an argument with me, just spit it out so I can actually respond. Instead of it's sort of like you're flinging a booger in my general direction. I'm like, I don't know, what am I supposed to do with that? Like you you gotta increase the intelligence level of your statements. Like make them a little longer, include enough information that I can actually respond to it. Otherwise, I'm just like, okay, you're stating some fact that may or may not be true or means I don't know what are you trying to go? Where are you trying to go with this? What is your best advice for happy life? I don't know. Do what you think is right. Although, if you, to be totally honest, if you just want happy life, just do what you're told. If that's what you're going for, you just want happy life, give up on your dreams. Don't have any aspirations. Just say, you know what? I should do whatever I'm told, and that's the best thing in the world. Because that's going to be easy. You're going to breeze through life. If you can convince yourself that is the thing to do, you will be happy till the day you die. But everyone who's a real person, that's not going to work. Chasing happiness is not what you should be doing. Like do what you think is right and fight as hard as you can, and then you'll be most content. And this is like the closest to happiness. These skills give them the ability to turn almost anything into a toy. My son, oh yeah, especially like when you get a refrigerator or something, there's a giant box. Everyone knows the kids want the giant box. The kids will play with a giant box for weeks. Whereas you bring home some plastic junk. Sorry, Jasper, but you bring some plastic junk. They play with it for 5 minutes and they just throw it in the pile of other junk. Man, a giant cardboard box. Oh, there's so much you can do with that. My son took some 1x4s and 4x4s, some markers, and turned them into an alligator. He had so much fun. That's awesome. Jaimie, from down under here in Australia, let's keep some sustainable stuff here. Agreed. There is so much useless stuff in life nowadays. We need to focus on the sustainable stuff. Yeah, totally. Like a lot of times, you don't even. Hey. Okay, like all this plastic junk that I'm talking about, it's not sustainable. It's just creating more garbage, right? Whereas, like what this guy was just talking about, he had some 1x4s and 4x4s already there. Like let your kids play with what's already there. Like before it goes into the garbage, Like so many times I'll have leftover stuff, leftover concrete, leftover wood, and I'll just be like, hey kids, you want this? And they'll spend like days doing stuff with it. You don't have to like go out and buy a new thing all the time. It's I don't know if that's what you're talking about at all, but get some Matchbox toys and play vehicles. Oh, we have that. He's talking about cars. You know what Matchbox is. Yeah.
I have those.
Yeah, you got cars. We also have some cool trucks that I made out of wood. Mm-hmm. Those are pretty sweet too. You know what? When I was a kid, I had all the little, I didn't have all of them, but I had a whole bunch of, the Matchbox cars. But my favorite one was this little wood one, and it was all wood. Even the axles were wood. And it was just really, it was my favorite car. Maybe I should make one exactly like that for you. Because, I really like that one. Partly because I looked at it and I said, I could totally make this, But partly it was just, the shape was really good. Hi, Miss Glue Fingers. Yeah, I had a lot of years growing up too. I still do. I keep lawnmower gears. Oh yeah, gears, man. Anytime I find gears, I just keep them. Yeah, but having a 3D printer, oh man, I can make like any gear, at least a plastic gear, which is pretty sweet. We're picking nostrils. Let's see. There was a toy back in the day. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a stomper. Do you guys remember stomper trucks? Well, this toy, you can change gears and motors and wheels. That's pretty cool. Did I just go back in time to a 1999 camera? I don't know. Do you guys remember robotics? Yes, I do remember those. That was awesome.
What are robotics?
There's like a couple pieces in the Lego, but not enough to do anything with. I can probably find a video and show you.
Oh, the robot parts that stick together up there?
Maybe. Would love for you to see our lifestyle and make your life. Wait, would love. Would love for you to see our lifestyle and make your lifestyle work because I feel like it would work well in Australia. You have a lot of things spot on. The problem with Australia is just the massive amount of regulations. Now, I've never lived in Australia, but I've heard report from many people that the regulations are a killer over there.
What's regulations?
Regulations, rules, yeah, what are they, right? Exactly. Like you need permission to build your house, you need permission to make a vehicle. You can't even make a vehicle in a lot of parts of the world. Yeah, I know, eh? Yeah. Children are still figuring the world out, and adults should be capable of taking care of themselves. Adult children is a scary proposition at a societal scale. It is, and that's what we've mostly got now. Isolation destroyed my confidence when I was a kid. I live in a remote place, made me shy. That's unfortunate, Jasper. Sorry, man. Yeah, that must have been. That sounds like it wasn't very fun being isolated. Hey, Steve here. Came with Addie and Jess to visit last summer. Say hi to the kids from Addie. Do you remember Addie? Someone remembers Addie. If you.
Who's Addie?
They came. When was it? Yeah, it was last summer, right? You would totally recognize them if you saw a picture. Hi, I'm from India, and I would like to live a life like yours. Then do it, man. Of course, it depends what you mean by like mine. Like you want to live a life like the specifics of my life, like living, with the same kind of stuff, doing the same kind of stuff, or do you mean you want to live a life where you're doing what you think you should do, or both? I've never actually been to India, but I've seen a lot of videos of things in India where people are making things, and there's a lot of really cool stuff going on in India. Hey, move your head, Stinky Man. But I just try to live your life, man. Figure out how to do it. I had a very different life than this originally. It took me, a lot of work to get to the point where I am now, and I still have a lot of work. But yeah, it's really cool when you're working toward a life you actually want and care about. So much better than just like grinding away in some office, bored out of your mind, doing nothing you care about. I agree, Jaimie. If we just let kids be kids and people to be free, it would be so much better than this world. It is like a superpower. I am not gay, no. I remember Jaimie building. I'm like so far on the other end of that. Yeah, I remember Jaimie building his giant robot because someone rejected his toy design or something. It was epic. Well, that's kind of out of order. I started building the giant robot. I don't know. Anyway, the toy of it ended up in stores. Yeah, whatever. I don't remember building the giant robot because I was feeling rejected. I don't feel like that would really motivate me that much. I think I did it more because I thought it would be a cool thing to do. And I felt like I could learn a lot, which I did. Oh, Mike and your lava lamp. That's excellent.
What's a lava lamp?
Jaimie needs, okay, it's a lamp, and there's a light bulb in the bottom, and then there's a big glass thing up here, and it has wax in it, and then some like colored water or something. And when the light turns on, it melts the wax at the bottom, and it heats up the wax. And when that wax gets hot enough, it starts going, like a blob of it will go up to the top, and then it'll cool down at the top and start falling back down. So you get all these blobs going up and down in the lava lamp.
That's cool.
Yeah. Jaimie needs to make a series for toy making. Maybe I should. Jaimie, I'm stuck in a very well-paying job. Stuck in a well-paying job. Damn it. I bet a lot of people are like, I wish I was stuck in that. I watch what you do, which is mostly the way I grew up. Was a brilliant lifestyle, but I want to mold the two together. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, you could figure out how to do a very well-paying job doing what you want to do. if you're stuck in a very well-paying job right now, I'm presuming you say you're stuck in a well-paying job because it's not a job you particularly want to do. If I was in that position, I would save money like crazy, and then change your life. Once you save up enough money, change it, and use the money to make the transition of whatever you need to do to get the life you want. And then if you want to have a well-paying job while doing that, figure it out, man. There are tons of things I could do here where I could get paid really well. I could go back to construction work. I used to be a contractor, and I could do that really easily here and get paid a lot. But I don't want to do that. But yeah, there's tons of things you can do. Just open your brains and think about it and figure out how you just put your parameters in there and figure out what fits, Print one, Johnny Sins, I don't know what that means. Any science projects you can build for your children or they build with you? Constantly. I don't know. Everything's a science project. What I don't know. We're always building stuff. All right. Are you wearing pants? Okay, you are wearing pants. Good. Give me a kiss. Hey, don't smack. Yo, your trampoline house is dope. That was a pretty cool house. Or I guess it still is. Just curious, how many board feet have you cut and milled in the last 4 months? I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know.
Some raisins to eat.
Fine, you can have some raisins.
Me too.
You guys open them.
Oh,
Don't pull out a ton.
All
right, you open it. You take them out.
Okay.
Because you're not going to spill them everywhere. Just curious, how many board feet have you cut? A lot. I don't know, thousands. But the thing is, like when I'm cutting the wood myself, I don't have to measure the board feet, so I didn't keep track of that because I'm not buying it, What do your kids think of you being a YouTuber? My nephews think being a YouTuber must be the best job.
Leave it open.
Hey, what do you guys think of the fact that I do these weird videos? Split those.
Amazing.
Whenever we get raisins out, there's always a pile that comes out, and then one kid has to divide it, and that's one of the ways we learn math. Divide that. Do you want some bells? All right, let's put a few more. Okay, divide that into 3. And I always, whenever we're doing stuff like that, I always make sure I use the mathematical terms so that when when my 3-year-old here gets to the point where she's doing math, I'll say the word divide and she'll be like, oh yeah, that's the thing I do with the raisins and the peanuts and the word. Here, get your head out of the way. Just curious, how many board feet? Yeah. Wait, what do you guys think of me making these weird videos?
I think it's cool.
Cool. It's like whatever. Like I've done it all your lives, so. Unfortunately, the world we live in, you might be in the last place that allows the freedom you have. I feel like we all need to work together to change life for everyone. Yeah, totally. Well, I don't think I'm in the last place. I mean, there are pockets of. Oh, careful. Like there are pockets of places here and there throughout the world where you can just do your thing and no one cares. Like there's just not enough people there, or there's just no one's interested in the place, right? But yeah, I think it is important to try to get that to happen everywhere. And I've had this discussion with friends in the past where we would talk about how, there's all this freedom lost in the world and people aren't allowed to do what they want to do and, it needs to be fixed. And I had several friends who decided they needed to get into the system and change it from the inside, right? And I was like, I don't know. I think I need to get outside of that and like plant something where it can actually grow and then try to grow it, And what ended up happening is I had a few friends who moved to New York or other cities, but I'm thinking right now of a couple friends who went to New York. And I'm gonna move to New York, and I'm gonna work within the system and fix the place. Man, they just got steamrollered. I ended up having this conversation, the same conversation over and over for like over a decade, which went like this. I'd be like, "Hey man, how you doing?" "Oh yeah. Things are tough, but my big break's just right around the corner. Another 6 months. I'm gonna get my big break, and I'm gonna make enough money to not be struggling so much, and then I can try to make some progress. I'm just 6 months away." And then like a year later, how's it going? I'm just 6 months away. 6 months away. 10 years later, I'm just 6 months away. My big break's right around the corner. And it's like, do you hear what you're saying? But the problem is when you get sucked into the system too much, you can't even hear what you're saying anymore. So I feel like I made a good choice. I'm sure it's not the only way to do things, but I went to one of the places where there is still enough freedom that I can live the life that I want to live, right? And I am here doing it. And I think it's really important that people go to those places that are still free and live those lives and be as free as possible and push back against any encroaching loss of freedom. Because it's sort of like if you're on planet Earth and it's getting invaded by aliens, right? And there's like most of the Earth is just taken over by the aliens, but you got a few little pockets of humans still living there. Now you could jump into the aliens and say, I'm gonna fix the aliens from the outside. You just get wiped out, right? Or you go to one of these pockets where the humans can still exist, and you say, all right, let's plant our foot here. Let's push back from here, and try to stop the crushing oppression that's coming in, and maybe even push some of that back out. And a lot of that has to do with why I make these videos, trying to encourage that kind of thing. Let's see. Again, your morals are spot on. Oh, well, thanks, man. How can we educate the rest of the world to think this way? Unfortunately, telling everyone they are wrong is not going to change their ways. This is something I think about a lot. Like I've been making these videos for like 20 years, right? Trying to push the same kind of message over and over. And I know that it's getting to some people, because I get messages back from people every now and then just saying, Jaimie, you like changed my life for the better because blah, 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 but I know that I'm not getting through to the large, the people who are actually hearing the message I'm putting out it's this tiny, tiny fraction of people. But I shouldn't be discouraged, because it is still getting to some people, So I don't know, but it is really easy to get discouraged when you see the world just continuing to go the wrong direction, and it's like being a drop of water in a hurricane. It's like what can I do? All I can do is do my best and hope that a bunch of other drops of water try to do something too. And I don't know. Any room on island to build treehouse with slide and climbing ropes or old fishing net? Yes, but I wouldn't want to do it in a tree, because I would only want to build a treehouse in something like a sequoia that's going to last like 1,000 years. I wouldn't want to build something, particularly in a tropical place, like the trees here. It seems like, there are some older trees, but a lot of trees, they'll last like 40 or 50 years and then just get some kind of termites or rot or something. Because near the equator, in a place with lots of water, there's so much energy coming in from the sun and so much water, and it's just like life is just exploding everywhere all the time. So things are just constantly living and dying and living and dying. So I wouldn't want to build a tree house in an actual tree, because they grow and then die and grow and die so fast. But I would build like an artificial platform with like stainless steel pipes or something, which I might do.
House in that tree.
That is true. Aurora did build a tree house in the tree over there. Yeah. My girlfriend thinks you are a crazy guy in the jungle. I think you are one of the most creative person on YouTube. Well, your girlfriend and you may both be correct. It takes all of us brothers and sisters all over the world every day to show each other love and respect. Stop judging each other and start helping each other. Well, you do still have to have good judgment, but you gotta judge. You gotta judge based on the right things, and not. All right. And a lot of times it's like what you do with that judgment is as important as the judgment itself. Like I think it's really important to have good judgment, particularly about people. But then if you judge someone to be doing the wrong thing, just getting angry at them, like you're saying, just getting upset at them doesn't help. Like you have to try to encourage better stuff, right? And always keep in mind that you could be wrong, You're strangling. Judge not, yet ye be judged. Unless someone is causing harm to everyone around them, we need to find the things that we can relate with each other on. Yes, that is totally true. Something came up recently with that. Where, I know what it was. I have this dumb conversation a lot with people, although it's becoming less now because things are changing. But like the whole climate issue and the global warming thing. I'm always saying, like, who cares about that debate? Like, there are a million reasons not to pollute and waste our resources without that. So it's irrelevant, the whole debate of who's causing the pollution and the climate change and blah, 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 all this stuff and like fighting over it is irrelevant because all we have to do is find a common ground, which is, let's not, wait, are you not wearing, your pants are falling off. Oh, crazy kids. Anyway, all we have to do is like be sensible, find a common reason to not throw away all the resources. And it's not that hard to do, but people will get so stuck on the idea that they have to be fighting about it. Okay. So they'll pick the way to approach the problem that they know the other person is not going to like, and it doesn't make sense. Just so many times there's problems. There's common ground.
Finish the tree cutting.
All right. As soon as I get through these comments here, let's see. All right. I'm gonna try to get through this fast. We really need to come up with a way. We really need to come up with a way to change people's mindset and empower people to change. Yeah, I mean, one thing that might happen is civilization may just collapse, and then people will be forced to, and then supposedly there'd be something better on the other side. Okay, just put yourself in someone else's shoes. We're all different. We all have different things in life that we want to achieve, as long as we're doing it with respect and love. Yeah, totally, man. I mean, my basic rule is like, do whatever you want as long as it doesn't prevent anyone else from doing whatever they want, I think that's a pretty good way to live. And you're right, you're getting to some people, so don't be discouraged. Let's just keep forging forward and help as many as we can. Yeah, it's just, it's like, this is what it feels a little bit like. I feel like I'm in a train that's going off a cliff. No. I feel like I'm in a boat. Yeah, that's sinking, right? I feel like I'm in this giant boat that's got tons of people and we're sinking. And I've convinced like 4 other people to start bailing out. It's like the boat's going down, So yeah, it's kind of like there might not even be a point in bailing out at this point. It might be a situation where you just got to get to the lifeboat and get ready, like, as soon as possible. And the sooner you get ready, the more you can get ready, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, And we're not hurting anyone. We're just hurting the environment. Yeah, we're just living. I gotta skip through these a little bit because my son is getting anxious to go finish that tree. Are you hiding from the feds? If I was hiding from the feds, I don't think I'd be putting up videos that could be tracked easily. Hello from tropical Colombia. What's up, man? Keep doing what you're doing. I will do my best. That's what happened in the Planet of the Apes movie. Humans treated the apes like stupid slaves, so they united and turned humans back into cavemen eventually and lived happily ever after until, yeah. Planet of the Apes 2 was hilarious. They just blew up the whole planet. Oh, spoiler alert! I don't like good arable land covered in solar panels. It's so difficult to buy land. Yeah. What was the last car you owned? The last car I owned was an old Toyota pickup truck. Like before they had any names. Like before it was like the T100 or the Tacomas or any of that stuff. It was just a Toyota pickup truck. And it had extra big springs in it so it could hold a lot more weight, and it had big tires. That thing was great. Hey, is that Johnny Sins? I don't know what that is. Jaimie, how are you able to help your kids find a wife or a husband to start their own family? Well, I don't think my kids... Cargana, are you ready to find a wife yet? I don't know, you're 5. You gotta start getting on that. Oh, this is the whole, like, there are no people around. I do, there are people around. I'm in a community, like there are people around here. They're just far enough away that they're not like, it's not like being in a city where I can like stick my head out my window and hit my head against the neighbor's house, you know. Yeah, we're not worried about starting families yet. I don't have kids that old yet. No, you are the captain holding everything together. I don't know. When they're older, obviously, yes. Are you building 2 canoes to make catamaran? You mean 2 canoes to make a catamaran? Well, yeah. You should Google him. You and him are nearly twins. Johnny Sins? Is that who I need to Google it? Anyway, I'm going to go outside with my crazy kids here, and this one is going to go work on her dollhouse with your new clips, right? Yeah, you're going to spend all day doing that, I bet. With your miter box and your clips and your saw. And then me and this one are going to go, I guess we're going to go chop up some more tree. And yeah, well, I hope everyone out there is having a good whatever you have. You're a great guy. Oh, thanks. And you need to take credit for what you do for your family. Wow, you take credit. I just need to do it. What is your favorite summer meal? Pizza? Pizza and watermelon, probably. Jaimie, big winning. So happy for you and your kids. Please do it. I'll check in next stream for a good chuckle. Oh, what was I doing? I forgot. Have an amazing day, human. All right, let's get out of here. Are you staying by?